What scares me? Gosh. We're here in this world for a purpose and just really trying to find my purpose.
It was really hard watching her go through what she went through.
Yeah, I mean, I would say losing my son.
What scares you? Hi, I'm Carla, and this is Carla Cash Out Loud, and that's the question that I'm asking today. I am asking a group of very specific people in their 20s and 30s, and I even threw in a 15-year-old to see what scares them. And I narrowed it down to this particular group because I think generations misunderstand each other. I think people in their 20s and 30s think people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s have a certain mindset. And I think people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s think people in their 20s and 30s have a certain mindset. So I wanted to see what scares a 20-something, what scares a 32-year-old. I think that we often think that if you're younger, you have no problems, you have no issues. And I think many times younger people think that those of us like myself who are 55 already have it all worked out. Well, we don't. I certainly don't. So I'm setting out today throughout Virginia. I've gone to Richmond, Hampton, and a rural area about an hour and a half south of Richmond to ask 8 different people in their 20s and 30s, and like I said, one 15-year-old, what scares you? Let's see what they have to say.
What scares me? Gosh. There's a lot of things. All right, so like in this world, I don't really like spiders, not a fan of rats, those types of things. But like when I think about what really scares me, not living up to my potential. I feel like we're here in this world for a purpose and just really trying to find my purpose and making sure I leave my thumbprint. I don't want to leave this world without turning over every stone I'm supposed to.
The thought of losing or something happening to my husband or my 3 precious children. I don't even like to think about that. Like if he's running late from work and I don't hear from him, I just try not to go to that spot because my mind tends to go to worst case scenario. That's just my biggest, that scares me when I don't hear from him, and I guess that's also like my biggest fear. Just the thought of something happening to these little people and the husband that I love.
The world like ever so changing. It's changing really fast. It's so much different than it was, when I was growing up. So I'm afraid that, for my girls, it might just be more difficult than it was, when I was growing up, and that's scary. That's scary because right now it's can get scary for adults sometimes. So just trying to imagine how a child is supposed to adapt so fast to the changing, world. That's scary.
Death. For some reason, death. I don't know why. I've always just had a fear of that. That and blood. I don't like blood either. It makes me kind of queasy. But death, I guess I can't really elaborate on that. I just, it's scary. 1, you cause pain on other people. 2, you just don't know how you're going to go. Is it going to be pain? I mean, if I was to die, I would want to go painless. I don't want to, have any pain involved. And yeah, that's what I got for that one.
Well, I guess the fact as an auctioneer, we live and die by our next deal, and when you've got deals and you're working on deals, you're not looking for business, so you have peaks and valleys. So I guess what scares me is knowing that I'm an independent contractor with no salary, no paycheck coming in week to week unless I find something to sell. And my biggest fear would be not being able to support my family, my wife and my daughter and son in the way that I do now. I think that would be a very, very scary situation, knowing that I am, that they're depending on me to raise them and have a roof over their head and have food. I think that would be the most scary thing in the world if for some reason I lost the ability, maybe with my voice or some other way, not to do what I do to put money in the bank and food on the table.
I would say just failing in general, whether it's at work or as a mom, as a wife, as a friend. I have one of the sweetest friends that, you know, when it's time for one of our girls' birthday party, she's here helping blow up balloons and build my crazy balloon arches or help make food. Or when I was sick recently, she asked if there was any medicine she could bring me, if she could bring me food. When the girls were sick recently, she asked if we need any medicine, anything for the girls. So I'm always scared, like in relationships like that, like if I'm not as good of a friend as I see my friend as, or if I'm not as good as a mom as maybe the next mom, which I know I shouldn't compare, but it's hard to do when I see some of these other queens out there rocking it as moms. If you have any tips, I mean, you can send them my way. So just failing in general, whether it's career, at home, as a friend, anything like that.
And that's going to be like physically scares you, mentally, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Probably being accepted or not being accepted. In my line of work, I think you have to make a good impression. I'm a paramedic, so you have to make a good impression. You have to be accepted by the patient for them to trust you to take care of you, and that's huge, the first impression. So not making a good first impression, or being accepted by someone during your first impression.
You mentioned that in work. What about in personal life too?
Oh, it's the same. I would say it's the same as far as like the first impression thing goes. I mean, obviously you want to be accepted by anyone you meet for the most part. So just getting along with the other person based off of your personality, their personality. Granted, you're all going to clash. Someone's going to clash with you eventually, but I guess I just want to be friends with everybody. So that scares me to like not be. I don't want controversy, I guess is what I should say.
Being alone, like not like being alone like sometimes, but like all the time. I'm scared of being alone, like permanently.
And that's not a fun thing. To say their answer surprised me would be an understatement indeed. These young people have a great deal on their shoulders. They have very serious thoughts, everything from death to not fitting in, to worrying about how they raise their children, to finances, to everything in between, to losing their husband. These are not things that I think we typically think of a 20-year-old as worrying about, but yet they do. And if we think about it, really, those of us, regardless of our age, share many of the same thoughts. I certainly share many of the same thoughts that these young people did. I worry about fitting in. I worry about the legacy I'm going to leave. I used to worry about losing my husband, but now I have lost my husband. I'm a widow at 55. And that happened to me. And guess what? You survive it. So no matter what your fear is, no matter what you're scared of, you can indeed get through it. But the message I wanted to bring you today is to respect and honor the fears and what is frightening to someone else. Don't dismiss them because of their age. Regardless if you're 15 or 75 or 85, you have your own individual fears. You have your own things that frighten you and that you're afraid of. And those things deserve to be respected and honored, just like you deserve to be respected and honored. So let's do that with each other. Let's be kinder to each other. Let's listen to each other's fears. Let's see what we can do to assuage those fears and see what we can do to help each other out. I hope that's the message that you got from this today. My name is Carla, and this is Carla Cash Out Loud, and every week I bring you a video in which I have traveled up and down the East Coast, mainly in my home state of Virginia, interviewing people, asking them questions such as this one today. And if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe, and please like this video, share this video, so that I can travel around even more places. I hope that you will do that. I hope you'll leave a comment below as well. If you get time, tell me what scares you. What scares you? And if you're so inclined, tell me your age too. I think that would be an interesting study to see what the ages are and what fears are at a certain age. So thank you so much for watching. It always makes my day so much more special when you keep me company and when you're a part of it. Until next time, much love to you, and I will see you next week out on the road with another interview. Take care.